Hello, I am Ernestine Best, and in 1960, I witnessed my parents, my grandparents, and people 18 and above go to the courthouse to register to vote. And as they stood in line, they locked the doors. And when they locked the doors and wouldn't let them in, my school teacher, Miss Blakely, she called the NAACP in Augusta, Georgia, and told them that they would not allow them to register to vote. And the NAACP leader, I forgot his name, told them to be back there the next day and that they will have the federal office there to make sure that the doors are kept open. So they told every bus driver to let the families know that they will pick them up and bring them to the courthouse the next day. Every bus was crowded with adults 18 or above that wanted to register to vote. And they told them, the federal office was there, they told them that you have to stay open until every person has registered to vote. That is why I am so passionate about voting. If it wasn't for Mrs. Blakely, my school teacher, my mother, who went to the phone booth, if you ever heard of a phone booth, and called the NAACP, they would have had a hard time registering to vote. I am Black history.
My name is Arthur L. Kenner. I grew up in Yamacraw Village. Excuse me if I get a little emotional, but I just want to share some things about the way I came up. My father always used to tell me, it's not where you came from, it's always where you're going and where you need to go. And I took that, and I know I live with that saying, because I've gone through 21 years of military service. I've seen a lot, and I had to endure a lot. It wasn't easy. And I just give the word today was I just thank God that it wasn't me. I didn't go through it, but God, the good Lord brought me through it. And every one of my 2 careers that I have gone through, the good Lord brought me through it. So He gets the credit. And we endure. Sometimes we can be our worst enemy, because we have some of us will say to one another that we can't do this or we can't do that. And a lot of times we get discouraged by it. But I want to just encourage young folks today that it's nothing, if you set your mind to it, there's nothing that you can't do in this life. And I just appreciate this moment in time that I'm being able to spend with you. I am Black history.
My name is Earl Aidenfield, and when I was a young man, my mother sent me up to the filling station to get some kerosene to start fires in the wintertime. And I got the little red can, and I took it up there to get some kerosene. And so this white guy told me, says, "Boy, what'd you come up here to get?" I said, "I came to get some kerosene." And so he said, "Give me that can." He says, "I ought to kick you. You know what? I ought to just kick you." I said, "Why you want to do that?" "Because I can." I said, "I'll tell my daddy on you too." He says, "Who is your father?" And I told him my daddy's name. My daddy's name is Earl Aidenfield. He said, "Well, give me that can, boy. Let me give you some gas and get you out of here." And so he didn't. My daddy didn't play with it. But one thing I want to say, that when you're young, you can be exposed to all kinds of things. But little did he know that he was going and I was coming. Be careful of what you say to young folk in your growing up and your exposure in life, because there'll be a time as you grow older, you're going to be growing. And this guy, I saw him later in life after I'd done finished school and went away and got in service and came back home. I had grown and I had gained some weight. And I asked him, says, "Now, I saw him over at Mr. Elsa Bryant's garage." And I said, "That looked like Mr. Lewis Jackson over there." And so I went over to him and I says, "Mr. Jackson, you don't remember me, do you?" He says, "No, I don't." And I was looking down at him then. And he says, "Who are you?" And I said, "Never mind that." I says, "Do you feel like kicking?" He said, You could see him, the pressure started rising in his neck. And I says, I feel like kicking now. I said, I'm that little boy that you told that you were going to kick because they wouldn't say yes, sir, to you. And he started turning, and so Mr. Elder said, Sonny, don't you bother that man. Come on back over here. And so I just wanted them to know that, don't ever say anything wrong to a young man. Because like I said, you are going and they are coming. And so when you get to the point to whereas you can't defend yourself, when he can't defend himself, the situation's been reversed. So be careful of what you say to young people. Young people, be careful of what you do and what you say, and never be a pushover for anyone. Always stand up for yourself. I am Black History.